Well, hello everyone. How are you all doing? I pray that you're doing well. Peace and blessings be upon the people of the Most High Yah. Welcome to all of you watching and tuning in. Thanks for joining me for this session. Welcome to the returning and first time listeners. I'm going to highlight some of your comments as I go along instead of doing the big shout out in the beginning because I want to have some dialogue with this discussion or see what you're saying in the comments session. I believe this is going to be a powerful word for you tonight. But I do want you all to know that I appreciate how faithful many of you have been in tuning in and sending comments, your prayers, etc. Just know that I really appreciate it. All praises to the Most High Yah. All praises to his name. So if you are tuning in for the first time, you're welcome to put that in the chat box so that everyone can welcome you and say shalom, hello, welcome, and many blessings to all of you, family. So, what are we talking about tonight? The bitter cup. And family, the Most High has proclaimed liberty for his people. Our ancestors disobeyed, and we had to endure what I call the royal beatdown. But he has said that the nations that afflicted his people will reap what they have sown and drink from their bitter cup. It's time to pass the cup. We've been drinking from it for a long time. I'm sure all of us understand that. It's been a long time coming. We've been drinking for a while. So we're going to be talking about some things. As I said, I do believe that you will be blessed by what is going to be shared. And I really encourage you to share it with others. I really ask you to do that. You all know what we're dealing with. We won't even focus on them right now. But I am going to get started. I'm full of a lot that I need to share. So I'm wasting no time in getting started. As I said, I'll do more to look at some of your comments and share some of those. But I do want to dig into this because it's heavy on me and I got to release it. So we're going to start with Jeremiah 31:29. In those days, they shall say no more. In those days, they shall say no more. The fathers have eaten sour grapes, and the children's teeth are set on edge. So the people are complaining that they're being punished for the sins of an earlier generation. In those days is telling you this is a latter day message. It's for those in the latter days. If you feel like we have been punished for the sins of our ancestors, the earlier generation, put it in the chat. We're being punished for what they did. That's what this is saying. The fathers have eaten sour grapes, and the children's teeth are set on edge. So they're complaining about this. And if you think about our situation, we can see the fulfillment of that. It's almost like saying, but I didn't do it. I shouldn't have to pay for what my forefathers did. They agreed to have Messiah hung and then said, let it be upon us. and our children. It's like, but we were not there, Most High. Why are we now dealing with the penalty of that sin? We didn't do it. So we are in our condition and dealing with some things, not all because of our sin. It's because of what our ancestors did. I need you to get that part. So, how many of you have felt that way? It was our ancestors who messed up. It wasn't me. But isn't that what we hear from the nations that participated in our enslavement? It wasn't us. But the flip side of this is, why is it okay to reap the rewards from your ancestors? Why don't we complain about the benefits? We don't want to be held accountable for what our ancestors did wrong, but is it okay for us to reap the rewards of the promises made to those who remain true, like faithful Abraham? Pause and think on that. Pause and think on that. Should we reap the benefits of Abraham's faithfulness? And if you say yes, why? Why should we reap the rewards, but we should not reap the rewards of those who messed up? I want you to think about this. Think about it. Brother Calvin says, wasn't me, didn't work for me. Didn't work for me, huh? Georgetta, well, I was just as guilty and repented, she says. All right, let's go on. Now, let's look at this often overlooked passage from Luke. We're going to look at Luke 1:68 through 75. Blessed is the Most High Yah of Israel, for he has visited and redeemed his people, and has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spoke by the mouth of his holy prophets, who have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all who hate us. They were still talking about being saved from the enemy, from those who hate us in the New Testament, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant. This is what we want the Most High to do, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers. He promised something to our fathers. We want him to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he swore to our father Abraham, to grant us that we, being delivered from the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear. Now, family, if everything was fulfilled in the New Testament, why are these words being spoken? Why are they saying this? Obadiah, we need you to remember your promises. We need you to remember your holy covenant. You promise. You gave us an oath and a promise. You swore to our father Abraham that you would deliver us from the hand of our enemies, and that we might serve you without fear, in holiness and righteousness before you all the days of our life. This is often overlooked in the New Testament. Once again, we see the true definition of what it means to be saved. It is to be saved from the hand of the enemy and those who hate us. Why are we saved? to perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant. Once we are delivered, we are to serve him without fear in holiness and righteousness. If you ever wondered why we are saved, this is why. We should not forget this part. We are saved unto something, to be and to do something. Keep that in mind. Now let's look at this. We're going to look at Hebrews 11, 8 through 12. By faith, Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to the place which he would receive as an inheritance. And he went out not knowing where he was going. By faith, he dwelt in the land of promise as in a foreign country, dwelling in tents with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. For he waited for the city which has foundations, whose builder and maker is Yah. Listen, this is another part that's often overlooked. By faith, Sarah herself also received strength to conceive seed, and she bore a child when she was past the age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. She believed the Most High. Most of us only equate faith with Abraham. This is telling us that Sarah did as well. Therefore, from one man, and him as good as dead, were born as many as the stars of the sky in multitude, innumerable as the sand which is by the seashore. Family, this is telling us how we benefited from our forefather. Abraham obeyed when some of our ancestors disobeyed. Because this one man obeyed, we will reap the benefits. We receive the inheritance. And as we discussed in the session this past Sunday, the gifts and callings are irrevocable. Abraham was not the only one. Sarah is to be commended as well. She received the strength to conceive. I don't know how many 90-year-old women are trying to conceive, but can you imagine? I can't. But because of this one man and this woman, they believed and Abraham obeyed. We are receiving something. But yet, we continue to focus on those who disobeyed. Why should we be punished for what they did? So I ask Israel, why should you be blessed? Because of Abraham. He obeyed. He obeyed. So why should we be blessed? Why should we receive the inheritance? One man. And that inheritance, that blessing because of his obedience passed down to us. Let's keep going. Now, I want to look at Jeremiah 31, and then we're going to get into some things. Behold, the days are coming, says the Most High, that I will sow. We talked about this in the last session. Plant the house of Israel and the house of Judah with the seed of man and the seed of beasts scattered to the nations. That's what happened to us. And it shall come to pass that as I have watched over them to pluck up, to break down, to throw down, to destroy, and to afflict, so I will watch over them to build and to plant, says the Most High. In those days, they shall say no more. Now we're reading that sentence in context. because he did something because of our sin. But then he says, I'm going to build them up and plant them so that they will no more say, the fathers have eaten sour grapes, and the children's teeth are set on edge. But everyone shall die for his own iniquity. Every man who eats the sour grapes, his teeth shall be set on edge. Behold, listen, the days are coming, says the Most High, when I will make a renewed covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, my covenant which they break. The Most High remained true, though I was a husband to them, says the Most High. But this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days. I will put my law in their minds and write it on their hearts, and I will be their Most High. They shall be my people. Our Adonai, they shall be my people. No more shall every man teach his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Most High, for they all shall know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, says the Most High. For I will forgive their iniquity, and their sin I will remember no more. Now, family, he says, I'm going to write it in your heart, or on your heart and in your minds this time, so that no more will you be able to say, they did this and now we're being punished. So in those days, after their punishment has been completed and mercy again visits them, they're going to have the words of the Most High inside. It's now it will be in our hearts and in our mind, so that we don't sin against the Father. Now, like I said, we have a lot to cover, so I'm going to push through this. Let me tell you what happened on Sunday night. After I finished the message, and just kind of thinking about the message that was uploaded on Sunday, and just meditating on it, because oftentimes when I'm working on it and uploading it, I'm so involved in that process. I go back and I listen so that it ministers to me. I know it's for me as well. So Sunday afternoon, I had not received anything for this week's live. And by now I would have had it, or by that time I would have had it and started working on it. So I assumed that there wasn't going to be a live. So I had already planned that I would send a message to the moderators on Monday and say, we won't be doing a live this Wednesday, because I hadn't received anything. So I went to bed that night because I was just tired. So I went to bed early. I had been up late the previous 2 nights, and as soon as I started to doze off, I heard this word. It was the name of a country. I didn't hear anything else. So I just turned over and wrote it in a journal that I keep beside my bed, and I went to sleep. In the middle of the night, I heard a verse of scripture and nothing else. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll just roll over and write this down, and then this is probably something I need to study out. So I kept hearing this verse of scripture. And it's like, okay, I know that this is something I need to study. I'll get to it. But then it wouldn't go away. And I'm trying to go back to sleep. You all, I was so tired. I was drifting off to sleep again and heard it again. I did not want to get out of that bed. I'm just being honest. I could hear the wind outside. It was cold, and my body was not trying to get up. So instead of rolling out of the bed, I rolled over. And you know, when you hit that spot that's just right, I mean, sleep was calling my name, but deep down inside, I knew that if I didn't get up, I was going to lose whatever I was supposed to get. So I started talking to myself silently, of course, because I didn't want to wake my husband up. And I'm telling myself, get up. You need to get up. One part of me is saying, get up. The other part is saying, but this bed feels so good. I'm tired. This went on for a few minutes and I could feel myself dozing off until finally I had to start saying to myself, by the power of the Most High, Yah, get up, get up, get out of this bed. It took that and more for me to finally get out of that bed. And I'm coming downstairs, and let me just tell you, it wasn't pretty. The way I was walking was like somebody who had had one too many drinks. But I came downstairs, and I am so glad that I did. So I immediately grabbed the Septuagint, I grabbed the Sefer, grabbed the KJV to look up the verse that I had heard so that I could start reading and see if this was something I needed to study out. But no, I was supposed to read this chapter. And I'm telling you, as I'm reading it, it was like a rhema word, the word in season when you know that it's a right now word and it's speaking to you directly. I'm telling you, the words penetrated my soul. I just started praising the Most High, and then I began to weep, just weeping. And I began, the message about the dry bones came back to me, and I could see how it all tied in, how it was fitting together like a puzzle. And I'm purposely not giving you the passage because I know some of you, you will immediately grab your Bible and start reading now. But I need you to hear the full weight of it as I read through it. So if you could just be patient and read it along with me, I believe that it will be very impactful as we go through it together. Is that okay? So just give me a chance. LD says he's had, I don't know if that's he or she, I can hardly see the picture, but this person has had that happen before. Okay, well, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. you know what I mean. But I'm oh my gosh, I was so glad I got my behind out of that bed. So listen to this. And I want you to listen as if you are hearing the Most High Yah speaking to you personally. Put your name in there. I'm going to begin reading from Isaiah 51, and I'll read verses 1 through 3 here. It says, listen to me, you who follow after righteousness. This means you're seeking it. You who seek the Most High. Look to the rock from which you were hewn. Look to the rock from which you were hewn. To be hewn is to think about something that you're taken from, that you're cut from, like you belong to this, you're a piece that was taken out of it. So to be hewn is to be given identity, shape, or form. It's like when you look at this thing, know that you're from this, you come from this. And to the hole of the pit from which you were dug. Look to Abraham your father and to Sarah who bore you, for I called him alone and blessed him and increased him. Now, normally when we read passages referring to Israel, it takes us back to Jacob This is saying, no, I want you to look to Abraham, your father, and to Sarah, who bore you. Look to the rock from which you were hewn. So it's telling us to look to these two. And I purposely read those previous passages because they are Israel's father and mother in the faith. The just shall live by faith. What's coming upon this earth will try men's souls, and you will endure only through faith. So he's telling us, look back to your heritage to remind us how it all got started. It got started because of their faith. It began with a man who dared to believe and he acted on his faith. The promise was given to him and passed down to us. That's why that previous verse talked about Isaac and then Jacob, who dwelt with him in the tent. So it says to look to them so that you can imitate them. Think about where you came from. We never had that identity. We didn't know. We were just given the identity of a slave, but he's saying, no, you're cut from this rock. So I need you to imitate what they did. What they did. And he's talking to the people. He's talking to the descendants. Now follow along. Listen to what he says here. For the Most High will comfort Zion. Now, Zion referred to a specific location in Jerusalem, the city of David. This was also known as Mount Zion, a hill or mountain within Jerusalem where the city of David was established. But she's personified as a woman. So over time, it came to symbolize the city of Jerusalem and the entire land of Israel. What does she look like right now? It says, he will comfort all her waste places. He will make her wilderness like Eden and her desert like the garden of the Most High. Listen to what he's doing. So over time, we know what happened. The children are no longer in the land. The land paid a price as well. She looks like a wilderness in a desert, but she will look like Eden and the garden of the Most High. Now what else does it say? So joy and gladness will be found in it, thanksgiving and the voice of melody or the voice of singing. Now I want you to look at Micah 4, 1 through 2. Now listen, because this prophecy is talking about the latter days. Now it shall come to pass in the latter days that the mountain of the Most High's house shall be established on the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills, and peoples shall flow to it. Many nations, because it says many, that lets you know that it's not just Israel. The Gentiles will flow to it, and they'll come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Most High, to the house. Listen, to the house of the God of Jacob. He will teach us his ways, and we shall walk in his path. For out of Zion the law shall go forth. You see this? The word of the Most High will come forth out of Jerusalem. This is going to happen when? In the latter days. Now, symbolically, Zion is the presence of the Most High as well, as in a place of righteousness, his justice, Yah's rule. As a result of his manifestation of power, the nations will be drawn to him. Stay with me now. Now let's go back to Isaiah 51 and read verse 4. And pay attention here because this message is to you. Listen to me, my people. Give ear to me. Listen, O my nation. He's not addressing all of the nations of the world. He's telling us, he's telling the world, I have a people and I have a nation. Listen to me, my people, and give ear to me, O my nation. He's not saying here, listen, all nations. He says, law will proceed from me, and I will make my justice rest as a light of the peoples. My righteousness is near. It's near. My salvation has gone forth, and my arms will judge the peoples. Now it's saying the peoples, the Gentiles. The coastlands will wait upon me, and on my arm they will trust. Now, again, I want you to hear this as if the Most High himself is speaking to you right now, because he is identifying the people he's talking to. And it's really hard to think that this passage is talking about the other nations when he identifies it. You can't get any clearer than this. He's talking to the people he chose to be his peculiar people. So let's go on. He says, lift up your eyes to the heavens. He told Abraham that. Lift up your eyes to the heavens and look on the earth beneath, for the heavens will vanish away like smoke. It's like, okay, why is he telling us this? The earth will grow old like a garment, and those who dwell in it will die in like manner. But my salvation will be forever, and my righteousness will not be abolished. He's telling us that he has the power to destroy the things that we see. Why? Because he made them. So why should you fear what is coming upon the earth? His salvation, his power to save you is everlasting. His power to save us will never diminish. The enemy wants us to be fearful, but we are to trust in the one who is going to force them to bow. He says those who dwell in it will die in like manner. So this is the message that he's wanting us to hear in these days. Listen to what he says about himself in Isaiah 40, 25 through 26. To whom then will you liken me? Or to whom shall I be equal? Says the Holy One. He's asking you this question, Israel. Can you think of anyone or anything to compare the Most High to? He's saying, think of someone, think of some powerful, mighty person. Can you honestly compare them to me? Look up and think about who did all of this, who created all of this. If you need some help, just look up to the heavens. Look at the things that I created in the earth. Just look at the stars and the heavenly hosts. I can number them and call them all by name, by the greatness of my might and strength of my power. Not one of them is missing. It's like, who can you compare me to? It's like, you better get a clue and recognize who I am. The problem is we have not seen the great manifestations of his power like our ancestors did. We can read about them. We have not witnessed them yet. So he's wanting us to remember some things. It's like, go and get a clue. about my power and my might. I need you to understand who I am. You cannot compare me to anything or anyone else. Let's go on. We're going to go back to Isaiah 51 and look at 7 through 8. Listen to me, you who know righteousness, you people in whose heart is my law. Listen to what he says. Do not fear the reproach of men, nor be afraid of their insults, for the moth will eat them up like a garment, and the worm will eat them like wool. But my righteousness will be forever, and my salvation from generation to generation. Again, a reminder that he has the power to save. And he's been doing it from generation to generation. So he wants us to know. So those who know righteousness, those who not only understand but love and practice it, those who know righteousness, they have his words in his heart. That's where it should be. It is clear to you that he wants us to be confident in his power to not only deliver us, but to humiliate our oppressors, to humiliate them. Do you know how tiny a moth is? You can squish a moth like nothing with a piece of paper. He says the moth will eat them up. Are you? It's like, this is nothing to me. Don't fear them. I want you to look at me. I want you to look and see my greatness. I need you to go back and remember what I did for your ancestors. You're talking about how you are paying for the sins of your ancestors, but go back and look at what I did for them. Look at how I delivered them with a mighty hand. Don't you know it's in my power to cause your enemy to be destroyed? Even a moth will eat them like a garment. Let's go on. Now, this verse is addressed to him. So the prophet or the speaker is saying, awake, awake, put on strength, O arm of the Most High. Now, this awake, awake, we know that he neither slumbers nor sleep. It's a way of saying, rise up, stir yourself. We normally say, move on our behalf, Most High. So the speaker is asking him to move like he did for our ancestors, as in the ancient days. This is what you need to be saying now. He's telling you to say this. Awake as in the ancient days, in the generations of old. I remember when you did this, Obadiah. I remember when you parted the waters and our ancestors walked through on dry ground. I remember when you caused fire to fall down from the heavens. I remember when the rocks fell down on the head of those who came up against our nation. This is what he's wanting you to rehearse. Stop talking about how we're still paying for the sins of our ancestors and remember what he did for the ancestors. So the speaker is saying, are you not the arm that cut Rahab apart and wounded the serpent? Rahab is the big sea monster. And the Most High, it says, you cut that sea monster apart. Now, the reason you can't say these things about what he did is because you don't remember. So now you have to go back and remind yourself. You have to go back and know it, understand it, read it, so that you know what he's, I don't even know that that tells us what he's capable of. It just gives us a glimpse, honestly. But listen, the speaker is still speaking. Are you not the one who dried up the Red Sea? This is what he wants you to say to him. The waters of the great deep that made the depths of the sea a road for the redeemed to cross over. So the ransomed of the Most High, listen, shall return and come to Zion with singing. Start speaking our future. Start saying what he's about to bring us into. Start lifting up your voice and singing with joy. It says, they shall obtain joy and gladness, sorrow and sighing shall flee away. It's going to go away. What you hear in these verses is the person bragging on the Most High, bragging about his power. You begin to rehearse what he did. Who are the ransom ones who will return? If you listen to the message on Sunday, you already know. You already know. And he's telling, this is how you're going to come into Zion, with singing, with everlasting joy. This is how you will come in. Now listen, because this is like a discourse. In some of the verses, the Most High is speaking, and then the prophet is speaking, or some of the people with him are speaking. But here the Most High is speaking. So listen carefully. I, even I, am he who comforts you. Who are you that you should be afraid of a man who will die, and of the son of a man who will be made like grass? And you forget the Most High, your Maker, who stretched out the heavens and laid the foundations of the earth. You have feared continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor, when he has prepared to destroy. And where is the fury of the oppressor? Is that not us? Is that not us? We've been in fear of our lives because of the things that happen to us. But he's saying here, who are you that you should be afraid of a man who will die? It's because you don't remember that you were taken from a rock. The rock was the man who was full of faith, who believed. Sarah believed. He's asking us or telling us, remember who you are now. They tried to take that identity away, but I need you to remember you're cut from a certain rock, Israel. Let's go on. He's reiterating. He says, the captive exile hastens that he may be loosed, that he should not die in the pit, and that his bread should not fail. I'm like, what in the world are you saying? Listen, Israel, he's saying soon all your captives will be released. We will be set free. Imprisonment, starvation, and death will not be our fate anymore. The captive exile. Listen to the two things. If you're a captive, then he says exile. It's like you're coming out, and it hastens for you to be free, so that you should not die in the pit and your bread should not fail. Then he's telling you who he is. But I am the Most High, your Adonai, who divided the sea, whose waves roared. The Most High of hosts is his name, and I have put my words in your mouth. These are the words he's wanting us to speak. words full of faith, words talking about his power and his might. He says, I have covered you with the shadow of my hand, that I may plant the heavens, lay the foundations of the earth, and say to Zion, again, there's no mistake about who he's talking to. You are my people. You are my people. So he's saying to you, do you really know who I am? Do you really know what I'm capable of? You better go and ask somebody. You better go back and read what is written. Now, notice that the land and the people are also used interchangeably. The people are being referred to as Zion. Say to Zion, you are my people. You are my people. Now, I want you to remember these words. He changes not. What he said is what he said. He changes not. Family, now listen carefully, because remember earlier, the speaker was saying to the Most High, awake, awake, or rise up. But now he is saying to us, awake, awake, or rise up. Stand up, Jerusalem, you who have drunk at the hand of the Most High Yah's, the cup of his fury. The hand of the Most High, the cup of his fury. We have been drinking from that cup. You have drunk the dregs of the cup of trembling and drained it out. We have been drinking from that cup. We felt his fury. He made us drink every bit. When you drink the dregs, you're drinking every bit of what was in that cup. Every bit of it. And verse 18 will tell us what happened to our people as a result. There's no one to guide her, Israel, among all the sons she has brought forth, nor is there any who takes her by the hand among all the sons she has brought up. He made us drink from the cup, and the fury was so intense, it was like we were drunk from the whipping. It's like Israel, is being tossed to and fro, trying to find her way, and there is no leader. There is no one to guide her among all the sons she has brought forth. We've been drinking from the cup. Now he tells us what was in our cup. These things are combined. Two things are combined together to make one. He says, these two things have come to you. Who will be sorry for you? So what was in our cup? Desolation and destruction, one thing. The famine and the sword, the second thing. Those things were in our cup, Israel. Now listen, as a result of what was in our cup, your sons have fainted. They lie at the head of the streets like an antelope in a net. They are full of the fury of the Most High, the rebuke of Yah. That's not saying they're at the head of the street and they're just angry because of what happened to them. No, this is not what it's saying. It's just telling you, when he made us drink from this cup, they're like an antelope that's caught in a trap. They're hanging out on the street corners. Instead of being in the houses, serving as protectors, they're hanging out on the street corners. When it says they are full of fury, they're helpless because of the fury that was poured out. They're reeling from the rebuke like drunk men. They're in their condition because of the judgment that came upon them. Now, please, you all listen to this part, and he's saying the same thing. He's still speaking. Listen, he says, therefore, please hear this. You afflicted and drunk, but not with wine. Thus says the Most High, who pleads the cause of his people. Listen to what he's saying to you. See, I have taken out of your hand the cup of trembling, the dregs of the cup of my fury. You shall no longer drink it, but I will put it into the hand of those who afflict you, who have said to you, lie down that we may walk over you. And you have laid your body like the ground and as the street for those who walk over. That's when I just lost it. Just lost it. Because he's telling us no more. Enough. They've walked all over you. You've laid down on the streets. They've all had their chance to walk all over you. Those words penetrated my soul. I felt it. He says, time is up now. You drank what was in the cup. Now pass the cup. It's the oppressor's turn to drink. They have walked all over us and treated us like dogs, but we had to drink what was in that cup. We drank because our ancestors sinned, but now we can look back and remember Abraham walked in faith and certain promises were given to him. We can now lay claim to everything that he was promised. The oath that was made to Abraham. Just like we inherited the punishment, we inherit that too. We inherit the blessings as well. It's time for us to pass that bitter cup. But what are you speaking? What's coming out of your mouth? He's saying, I have taken the cup out of your hand. The dregs of the cup of my fury, you shall no longer drink it. I'm putting it into the hand of those who afflict you. Those who said, you're nothing. Lay down so that we can walk all over you and you will take it. Because there's nothing you can do about it. My. Ooh, I know I said I was going to stop and read some of these comments. Brother Byron, very powerful. You love Yah. Yes, yes, and yes. He's saying, pass this cup. But you have to remember yourself now. He's wanting us to remember ourselves. We've seen how we look as we were drinking the cup that was full of the fury. But don't look at the cup now. Look to the rock that you were taken out of. Look there now. Get your identity there. Quad Mael, Yahweh is saying, I am done punishing you, so get your hind parts up and go play. I still love you. Let's see. Yohanan says, Psalm 75:8, for in the hand of the Most High there is a cup, and the wine is red, it is full of mixture, and he poureth out of the same, but the dregs thereof all the wicked. Oh, thank you for posting that. Yes, definitely. It goes along with what I was just reading. So thank you for posting that. Yes, family, we're going to have to change our mind, change how we talk. We're going to need to stick our chests out just a bit. Yes, we sin. Yes, he wants us to be humble. He wants us to remember why we got here. But it wasn't all because of everything that we did. We inherited some things. But it goes both ways. We inherited some things. We inherited the blessings as well. We inherited his blessing. Carmen, I'm so glad. I mean, it blessed me. I was just down there, just boo-hooing. Just, oh my gosh. It's like it just went into me. Vita Yah's child. We needed to hear this. I was getting so tired not to give up, but I needed that extra push. I think we all do. It's like, how long, Most High? How long, Abba Yah? How long? Yes, Abraham is the father of many nations. Second says, come and get us, Father. Yes. Karen says, even Hamashiach drink from that cup of bitterness. And he sure did, didn't he? Didn't he say, you will drink from my cup? Oh my gosh. Jesus, if I were blind, I could see this message. Praises to the Most High. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. There's so much more to cover in this. I'm telling you, I've been feasting on this for some time now. I'm sure I'll be feasting some more. General Warman says, Isaiah 35 was hitting me hard today, all about the wilderness. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you'll be encouraged. Be encouraged. He wants us to know some things. Victoria's Spirit, I just had a meltdown yesterday. I'm so tired. I totally get it. I totally get it. Diana, we got to start acting like the king's kids. Yes, Brother Harold, there will be a reckoning. Sister Cece, he has forgiven us. Yahushua's blood was not spilled in vain. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Brother Brian, you're there. We're a work in progress. So here's why we look back, to remember why we ended up here, so that we remain humble. But look back also to remember the ancestors who remained true. They didn't all fall down and disobey the Most High. They didn't all do it. So I still got so much more to go. You all, I'm telling you, this has been blessing me. Let's go on. Let's go on. 21. Now I'm going to go and read the first two chapters of the first two verses from the next chapter, 52, because I believe that page break ended in the wrong place. So we're looking at Isaiah 52, 1 through 2. Awake, awake, still talking to you. Rise up, put on your strength, O Zion. Put on your beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city, for the uncircumcised and the unclean shall no longer come to you. Shake yourself from the dust. Arise, sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose yourself from the bonds of your neck, O captive daughter of Zion. Who is he talking to? Those who've been in captivity. What is he telling us? Rise up and put on your strength. Wake up, dry bones. Where are they? In the dust? Shake yourself from the dust. Arise. Arise. Now listen as I read from Obadiah 1:15 through 18. For the day of the Lord, because this is what all the Gentiles are waiting for this particular day. The day of the Lord upon all the nations is near. As you have done, it shall be done to you. Your reprisal shall return upon your own head. For as you drank on my holy mountain, so shall all the nations drink continually. Yes, they shall drink and swallow. What are they drinking now? They're drinking from their cup. They're thinking it's going to be something good, but it's like, no, you will drink and you're going to swallow this, and they shall be as though they had never been. I was like, wow, whoa. But on Mount Zion there shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness. The house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. The house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. But the house of Esau shall be stubble. Now, if Jacob and Joseph are like fire and Esau is like stubble, what chance would the house of Esau have against fire? That's like hay trying to fight with fire. It says, they shall kindle them and devour them, and no survivor shall remain of the house of Esau. The Most High Yah has spoken it. This is what he wrote these words. Do you see how things are now being reversed? It's telling Zion to wake up. Wake up. Wake up and remember. 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 Stand up in faith. Trust in the one who's able to deliver you. Oh my goodness. Listen to this from Jeremiah 25:15. For thus says the Most High Yah of Israel to me, take this wine cup of fury from my hand. The Most High is telling the prophet, take this cup from my hand and cause all the nations to whom I send you to drink it. And they will drink and stagger and go mad because of the sword that I will send among them. Now, the one that we just read in Obadiah says, when they drink from their cup, they will be no more. We had to drink from our cup, but he did not utterly destroy us. Here it says they will drink and stagger and go mad because of the sword that I will send among them. Now, this is very important because we know what we did. In summary, when he said to us, I will destroy her vines and her fig trees of which she has said, these are my wages that my lovers have given me. So I will make them a forest, and the beasts of the field shall eat them. I will punish her for the days of the Baals to which she burned incense. Do you see? She decked herself with her earrings and jewelry and went after her lovers, but me she forgot. She forgot me. So we know that we were punished because of what our ancestors did. But now look at what he's going to do. And this is the part I really need you to get. Hosea 2:14 through 16. Therefore, behold, this is how he brings her back. I will allure her, will bring her into the wilderness and speak comfort to her. I will give her her vineyards from there, and the valley of Achor as a door of hope. She shall sing there as in the days of her youth, as in the day when she came up from the land of Egypt. And it shall be in that day, says the Most High, that you will call me my husband and no longer call me my master. Now, this is the part I really need you to understand. He's going to speak tenderly, softly to Israel, softly to her. I'm going to read something that a sister sent to me, and I'm going to tell you why I'm sharing Hosea 2:14-16 with you, because you have to see yourself, men and women, as Israel. Israel is being portrayed as a woman that was forsaken, a woman that's just basically been tossed out. Her lovers no longer want her. They no longer want her. She's been abused, mistreated. The oppressors did to us the things that are being talked about concerning this woman. She is not wanted. She's been rejected. She's been despised. So a sister sent this to me a while ago, a number of weeks ago, and said she wanted to share this with me, that the Most High shared with her, and asked me to just pray about it and see what he would have me to do with this. And I believe this is the perfect time to share this. It aligns beautifully with this message. She says, this is from, the sister's name is Sarak. She says, I am writing to you to share something Abba shared with me. We have never met or spoken. And she's saying, I am aware that we, because we've not met, it puts you at a disadvantage as to determine whether or not what I have to say is the ramblings of a crazy woman or something more. So she says, I can only identify myself as a fellow Amah, handmaiden of the Most High Yah. I pray that you read the rest of this and in faith proceed from there. So she says, where do I start? I've heard you use the phrase lately about making our case. So that is what I will attempt to do. I was reading in the book of Jeremiah and I got to chapter 9, and it started out with someone describing their weeping over the sins of our people. So she's referring to Jeremiah 9:1-2. I realized that this is not Jeremiah speaking, but Yah himself who's crying. He goes on to enumerate the sins of our people. And then in verse 17, he does something I had not truly understood before. He gives instructions for them to call for the weeping women. Many versions say the wailing women. However, the second Hebrew word used to describe the women is wise. Not many translations use the word wise. And she says, like, I wonder why. He goes on to say that these women should lament or wail for Israel, for the trouble that Israel is to go through as a result of their sins, and that they should teach their daughters to take up the lament as well, to wail the death of our children in the homes and in the streets. She says, as I meditated on this verse, I understood that this was not just about crying, but about wise daughters of Zion making intercession for Yah's mercy, and that the daughters of Zion received a special invitation to weep with and before the Father on behalf of the people. So she says, I have never really heard anyone speak on these verses as more than a passing thought. I believe it's now time to speak. The enemy has used against the daughters of Zion in churches that include camps, that he has used against our people in society. In society, if any other nationality of people commit a crime, it is their crime alone. However, we know that if one of our people commit a crime, we all bear the shame and many times the consequences. Well, the same thing has happened to women in general in the church. And she says, this is not male bashing, and I don't believe that she is, but she's trying to lay the groundwork to explain what was explained to her. In Israel, when we read about the treachery which our people dealt with, the father our people dealt with the father and with each other, it is often directed toward the leadership, which means it is often directed toward the men, for they were the leaders. But we as a people, we all acknowledge those sins and repent for them collectively, men and women alike. And that is as it should be. However, when we read the sins of the woman or the women, the collective thinking no longer applies. The woman stands alone condemned, and all other women are condemned with her. So that took me back to Eve. We still have the banner of shame of Eve over our heads, but why isn't there a banner of shame for Adam? He was there. Why are the women still looked down upon because of what Eve did? It's like, let's remember what y'all did forever, but we're going to forget what Adam did. But can we remember what Sarah did? Can we remember what Deborah did? Can we remember what Rachel did? Can we remember what the prophetess Huldah did? It's like we throw those things under the rug because we need to hold the shame over the woman. Let me continue. She's not finished. So she says, the woman stands alone condemned, and all other women are condemned with her. So we're all to blame and to be in shame because of what Eve did. So in that case, all of the men should be to blame and in shame because of what Adam did. These are my words here. She says, we have all been programmed to think this way. Now I had to ask, why would Satan do that? I believe that Jeremiah 9 holds at least a part of the answer. In Yah's word, when he is expressing grief for the punishment of his people, the phrase, the daughter of my people, is used in a very loving and caring way. Both Isaiah and Jeremiah use this phrase. Yah's daughters have a special place in his heart. When he created us, he gave us the capacity to feel what he feels. We are special to him, but not many of us know this because we aren't taught this. We are taught that we are the cause that sin is in the world. We are taught that we need to be browbeaten into submission and into silence. It is that silence that works in our enemy's favor. Please listen to what she's saying. That silence that started in the church then migrated into the homes and seeped into our souls. So our prayers and our supplications became small, and our ability to weep for our people became almost non existent. And to that, the enemy's other strategies to represent us as harlots, to keep us isolated and uncovered, struggling for survival, feeling rejected and dejected. we have not been taught to pray or cry out. And those of us who do, our prayers are focused on our needs or the needs of family and friends, those we know. And she said small prayers. But in Jeremiah 9, Yah has extended to his daughters the honor to weep with him, to seek his grace and mercy on behalf of his people. There is the power to make a difference in this invitation. There is the honor to sow the seeds of repentance and reap the fruits of righteousness, even for those who do not yet know that there is a need for them to repent. This is the honor to ask Abba to cleanse our hearts and spirits as he promised in his word. There is the honor to effect change in this realm by entreating him in the spiritual realm, power that has so far been untapped and untouched. And our enemy loves to have it so because he understands the privilege we have been offered, even if we don't. So that's from our sister, Sirach. Brother Jesse says, I am numb, shocked from the intensity of this lesson. The words of the Most High is activating me on a cellular level. All praise to the Most High Yah. All praises to his name. We give him thanks, giving him thanks for everything that he is doing. Sister Lizette, hallelujah, Yah knows that his children needed this message for this time. Again, Yuhanan, for his anger endureth but for a moment. In his favor is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. So now I want to go back to this verse that I was reading from Hosea 2:14, because I really need you to get the significance of what is being said here. The Most High is saying, I'm going to bring my sons and my daughters. My sons and my daughters. In the last days, your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Family, we should not be diminishing the gifts that the Most High has placed in his people. Don't diminish the gift that's supposed to work to our favor. It's supposed to work in our favor. So I thank Sister Sirach for sending that message, because absolutely we have something. He's placed something in the daughters of Zion that we're supposed to be using. It's for the benefit of the nation. It's for the benefit of the nation. Sister Natalie says, Yahweh's angel is waiting on us to speak and do his word in faith. Are we going to speak the words of the enemy, or the words of Yah? Whose report will you believe? Whose report? Shelley says, I can't wait. Auntie, read it, please. I think you're talking about the letter I just read, unless I missed something. Yes, we have work to do, family. We need to start fighting together instead of fighting against each other. A lot of us have been holding some bitterness in our hearts. Why should we have to pay for the sins of our ancestors? It's time to forgive and let go. Let it go. We have to learn how to fight together. The enemy has done a great job of dividing and conquer. We are experts at fighting against each other. Some of us, even with this channel, there are many who come because you're learning, you're sharing things with me, you're praying, but there are some who come to hear and listen for an error. so that you can start hacking away. We have learned how to tear each other down. I'm telling you, we are experts in that field. Experts. The enemy has hacked us down for so long that it's almost like we don't even realize how much we do it. It's easier for us to tear down. We're still trying to tear down when the Most High is in the season of building up. He's in the season of building up. So we need to learn. We need to learn to start removing those shackles that we may see on our brother's neck. The black woman, and I use that term loosely, you all know who I'm talking about. The daughters of Zion are not your enemies, brothers. The sons of Zion are not your enemies, sisters. The enemy made you to believe that as long as they can keep us fighting, we cannot unite and start speaking the same thing. We need to speak the same thing. Saul Evans, it says we need to stand together during the separation. All praises to the Most High, because he's coming back for both groups. Listen, you need to see us all as Israel. Listen to how the Most High is going to deal with her. I will speak comfort to her. I will speak softly to her. He says, I will allure her, as in woo her. As a man speaking softly to a woman, so that she's no longer saying my master, but my husband. Can we do that with each other? Can we stop seeing each other as the enemy? Can we stop it? If there is someone that's, you need to take before the Most High, take it before him. We're children. No parent enjoys watching their children fighting among each other. No parent. No parent. But we have been under the lash for so long. Everybody's had their opportunity to whip us. Just step all over us. Can we stop whipping each other? Can we stop whipping each other? Some of us didn't have it as bad as some of the others. Ask yourself honestly, how many would volunteer to go and live in the ghettos of Chicago? And there may be some who are there. How many who are not living there would volunteer to do that? Because the society has made us think that everything there is bad. It's awful. When even in the midst of all of that, there's a praying grandmother standing in faith. There's a praying husband believing for his family. So we look from the outside in, because the enemy wants us to think that just because you have it a little better, you're better than that person. So we start talking to each other like they talk to us. We start saying the things about each other that they say about us. I remember Pastor Darby saying one time, you talk at our people, but you never get close enough to see the reason they are behaving the way that they are is because their feet are still shackled. They're still wearing chains, but we don't get close enough. When he says they'll pass under my rod, what is the shepherd doing? He's inspecting. They're looking for the ticks, the mites, the things that are harassing the sheep, to remove those things. But we never get close enough to see the things that's biting on them, that's causing them to behave the way they are. So we look at it as us and them and not us. We were punished as a people. We're going to come out of this as a people. He says, I will speak comfort to her. Speak comfort to her. I know I'm sharing a lot, but I hope you're hearing what I'm saying. I pray that those of you who have other platforms or ministries will, you don't have to share this. Just take what was said before the Most High and see what He would have you to share with those who are listening to you. See what He will say to you about these things that were shared tonight. He's asking us to change our perspective here, to change some things. And I'm not finished. There's just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Most of you remember in the last live, I talked about this eclipse that's supposed to come through. And I'm definitely not in fear about this, because if anything, I believe that it's a sign for us. I honestly do. Just think 10 or 15 years ago, this thing would have come through and we would have had no clue. Like, I don't know what all that stuff means. I'm getting me a ticket and I'm going so I can watch the eclipse. It has taken on a different meaning for us now. We recognize some things. We understand some things. So we're looking at things a bit different. It's like it coincides with what I'm saying tonight. Like, take heart, Israel, pay attention. I need you to just pay attention. Stop focusing on what your enemy is doing and focus on what I've said and what I am doing. Pay attention to the signs. Look at the signs and know that I am moving. So as you look at this thing and you see it, see how this thing is going to traverse across the United States and come up in this area and pass over a place called Jonah. And then you count the number of cities named Nineveh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I saw 6. I believe I missed one. Let me go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 6. I don't know. If I missed one, then let me know. But when you just look at that, it's like, okay, really? It's starting at a city named Jonah? Come on now. And it's going to touch these other cities. They may not be in the direct path, but they will have some effects of it. And it's really going through a place that's called rapture. I'm like, really? Now, come on now. Who are we talking about here? I believe this is really for us, to give us hope, to help us to start paying attention to some things. Look at these patterns. Look at these patterns. Why are all these specific locations that are named Nineveh, why do they just happen to fall within this path? So I don't believe these things are for us to fear. I hope you heard that when I was sharing this message. I hope you heard that. It is not for us to fear. Here's what we should be saying. He is pouring His love over us. We will never be bound again. Our Father has proclaimed our liberty. We drank from the cup, and now we're passing it to the oppressors. It's time for them to drink. We should be saying we are free. We are saying our Most High Yah has declared emancipation. Remember when our oppressors did it? Did they really set us free? Just think about it. We're still enslaved in our minds in a lot of ways. We continue to reel from the residual effects of the brutality of people handicapped in the mind, in our relationships, finances, most importantly, our relationship with our Father. But he's saying, all right, you already drank from the cup. Pass it now. So we need to now look to the rock that we came out of. Look to Abraham and Sarah. Faith. We're going to need faith for these last days, as in trusting that what he said concerning us will come to pass. That's what Abraham is known for. He believed what the Most High said to him. We have to stand on those promises now. We have to stand on what he said. He believed and he received. We have to believe and receive. He's giving Zion comfort, joy, gladness, thanksgiving, the voice of melody. He says, listen, O my nation, because a Torah shall proceed from me. From me. So I hope that you heard what has been placed on my heart, that you meditate on these things, you pray on these things. And then again, for those of you who have the ability to share it with those he may have placed in your fellowship, see what he would have you to say concerning these things. See if he confirms these things for you. Second, says Yahushua's word coming to pass. Absolutely, it is coming to pass. Absolutely. He's not a man that he should lie. Not a man. We are, Judah said, there were also 7 Salems crossed by the first one in 2017. That's what I'm saying. There's no way this can be a coincidence. It's just not possible. It's not possible. The whole truth, so help me out. So many of the name location related to our past. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Brother Calvin say, drink up oppressors. No Folgers for you. No, they won't be getting Folgers. Not at all. Not at all. Because in their destruction, the other nations are going to fear. Those that did not have anything to do with the captivity of the Most High's people. I'm telling you, it's coming. It is coming. All right, a few more comments before we wrap up. I know some of you need to get up in the morning. Rita says, the Most High is showing us who he is. Take courage, my people. Don't be dismayed. Get excited. He's coming for us. That's what all of this is saying to me, that he has not forgotten us. He has not forgotten. So that's what that message, that's why I started to weep. It was like he's speaking directly to us. Minister Gwinnett says, a house divided will not stand. That is how the enemy used on us. That's what they used on us. You're absolutely right. Yah's child, the Most High is winking his eye at his people, passing the cup. Yes. Harvey Waters said, get ready and be prepared. I know that's right. I know. And stay prepared. You need to get ready now, family. Put away the little sins. You need this. Remember, I talked about the winnowing. You need to be asking the Most High to show you the little things that you need to get rid of. I'm telling you that's been happening with me for a while now, just addressing those little things. It's like, Get rid of it. Get before the Most High's face, acknowledge those things, and repent and ask him to purge you of those things. If you're ready, you won't have to get ready. Okay, so Bible Unlocked says the seventh city is in Canada. Okay. And Victoria's Spirit was saying seven Ninevehs total. Yeah, I mean, come on now. We can't just say, okay, this is all a coincidence. I think it's for us to pay attention to. I honestly do. That we can see that he's moving and doing some things. I honestly believe it's for us to pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on. All right, again, I hope that the information that was shared with you, will be a blessing to you. I do believe these are signs for us to pay attention to, Brother Harold. I do believe that. So you all remember to hit the like and to share the video with others. Because again, I'm sorry for those of you who keep getting unsubscribed, but you all know what to do. I'm sorry. Just keep subscribing and turning on the notifications. And it also helps when you share the video. So again, these are the things that were given to me, I believe, for our comfort. Some words that you can meditate on. Go back and listen to these scriptures. Think about it and just get before the Most High and ask him, is there anything in me that you need to cleanse my heart? Anything, search my heart like David said, and see if there's any wickedness in me. Ask him to cleanse you. The little things, the fighting, the bitterness, the bickering, the jealousy, the envy, the strife. The enemy has done a job on us. They are more afraid of us coming together than anything else. So, in the message that will be uploaded, I will be talking about the other word that I heard when I first came down, because remember I said I heard the name of this place and then I was given the scripture. So we will talk about that on the next upload. Again, many blessings to all of you. Peace and blessings to all of you, family. Thanks again for joining us. Be blessed, family.